Fearless Fundraisers. I'm Dawn Lego. It's time to buckle up once again for a new episode of Raise Nation, the one and only podcast made to inspire fundraisers like you to continue making impact in our communities, building better tomorrows, and exchanging ideas. So whether you're a trailblazer or seasoned pro, you'll pick up the trends that transform your fundraising. And together, we'll dive into lively conversations and chat with industry-leading fundraisers and thought leaders to explore hot-button issues and innovative ideas. So stay with us for the next 30 minutes while we inspire you to embrace the future of fundraising. Let's get going. This is a very, very, very special episode that I'm super passionate about myself. So I'm kind of anxious to introduce our guests. We're broadcasting this podcast right on the cusp of April 2022. And that means we are looking at Autism Awareness Month and World Autism Day on April 2nd. So it's just a great time to celebrate and reflect on neurodiversity. Not that we shouldn't be doing that 365 days of year. Of course we should, but it's that special time where we could take a look at where we are, how far we've come, and where are we going to go to bridge the gap. Again, in our communities, bringing people of all abilities together. So one foundation that is just trailblazing in this area is the Doug Flutie Foundation. For those of you who know that name and should know that name, Doug Flutie is a household name. He's a former professional football player, but his career was ignited for sure in his college days at Boston College. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just Google Boston College Miami game. There was an iconic game-winning touchdown pass that was super, super exciting. So after you listen to this podcast, go check out Google if you don't know what I'm talking about. But Doug Flutie was also a Heisman Trophy winner and just had a great career in college and post-college, and went on to have a beautiful family and was inspired by his son to start the Doug Flutie Foundation. So we do have the executive director from the Doug Flutie Foundation, Nick. You know what? I'm not messing up with last names. Savarese, Nick Savarese. I only said it 20 times before we started. Hi, Nick. Welcome to Raise Nation Radio. Thank you so much for being here, especially on the cusp of World Autism Day and Autism Awareness Month. It's great to have you.
Thanks, Dawn. I'm excited to be here, and you are not the first nor the last person who couldn't nail my last name. So no worries whatsoever on that front. Really excited and happy to be here. Thanks for having us and for shining a light on autism and all the wonderful people who have autism who can contribute so wonderfully to this world.
Absolutely. And on that note, that's a great segue to introduce our second guest. So honored to have you here on Raise Nation Radio, Cierra Reynolds, who's joining us from her college, right? Cierra is got this great resume of accomplishments, but she is also a self-advocate for the autism community. Hi, Cierra. Welcome to Raise Nation Radio.
Hey, I'm glad to be here.
It's fantastic. All right, well, let's get started. I think our audience wants to get to know both of you much more than I was able to do justice to the introduction. So, Nick, can we start with you? Please let our audience know a little bit about you. What's your why? Why are you with the Doug Flutie Foundation? And let's talk about the mission a little bit.
Sure. Yeah. So my name is Nick Savarese, as you said, the executive director of the Doug Flutie Jr Foundation for Autism. The majority of my career has been spent, advocating for and serving people with disabilities, autism, and that sort of thing. And I've been in this role for the last 4 years, just about. And my why is the other guest of this podcast, Cierra Reynolds, just, helping people like Cierra and so many others, elevating the voices of people and families affected by autism and helping them find their place in the world and not only find the place, but, really just grow and excel and that sort of thing. So that's what drives me to do my own personal work every day. And that's certainly what drives our foundation as a whole, our staff and our board and our founders, Doug and Lori Flutie, really to just help people and families affected by autism live each day to the fullest. And that's my why, and that's our why.
Well, our guest, Cierra, is absolutely living to her fullest potential. And so I want our audience to get to know everything about Cierra, but I can't do it justice. So Cierra, can you just speak to the whole Raise Nation community and to our audience today and tell us all about you? We want to know every little detail.
All right. So my name's Cierra Reynolds. And I've been singing for like all of my life. I currently study music education at Florida Southern College, and I'm going for my bachelor's degree right now because I already have an associate's in arts degree in St. Pete College. And I mainly want to be a singer-songwriter. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say that again. You want to be a singer. Okay, to everybody out there, whoever has a connection, Cierra wants to be a singer-songwriter. Let's help her do that. So why do you want to be a singer-songwriter, Cierra?
So I know I've always wanted to be like a famous singer ever since I was little. You know how little kids like write about their like goals and careers, like what they want to be when they grow up?
Yes.
I wrote down to be, I think I said Hannah Montana. Either that or be a singer. I actually dressed up as Hannah Montana for Halloween.
You did.
But yeah, it's just stuck with me. Wanted to be a famous singer. And then I suddenly started writing music, which is even better. Because now I can be like a famous singer who wins awards for their music that they wrote.
Good point. Very good point. So how has the Doug Flutie Jr Foundation, I keep forgetting the junior, how has the Doug Flutie Jr Foundation helped you with this dream to be a singer and a songwriter?
Well, first thing, they helped me spread my name out a lot. And they got me to sing with Cody Lee from America's Got Talent.
I know Cody Lee. Well, I don't know him personally. I know of him.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Wow. You sang with Cody Lee? That is super exciting.
I know.
Yeah, but you did. Sorry.
And,
Sorry, go ahead. I was going to interrupt and talk about your duet, which you can, we'll provide the links and that sort of stuff. But please continue, Cierra.
Oh, okay. They got me to travel for gigs, which is pretty amazing. So far, I got to perform in Orlando, which is like a couple hours drive from my house. I actually live in Florida, by the way. I forgot to say that. I'm from Largo, Florida. They got me to perform in Boston like a couple times. I'm coming back soon. Yeah, I'm performing everywhere. They helped me make like really good connections. I made some really good friends. Sequig, I actually made like a really great connection with him because how we're on like the same level with our careers and everything. Mm-hmm. By the way, his album is coming out sometime in April called Young Dreamers.
Oh,
I'm going to be in it.
And you want
Nick,
to
tell us about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So Sequig is a young man with autism who's a rapper. We like to say he's the best autistic rapper in the game. And so him and Cierra have struck up a wonderful friendship and a great musical relationship as well over the last, year and a half or so. First time
almost a year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Because you came the first time Cierra and Sequig ever met. They performed together at our gala last June, Rock and Raise for Autism, which is our gala that we do every year in June. And you guys had met online, on Zoom basically and rehearsed. Yeah. But then, bam, flew to Boston, performed, and just tore the house down basically. And so
Cierra, what do you like to sing? What genres do you sing? Are you going to give us a sample here? Because I know you've sung the national anthem many times, right? Are we going to get a little sample here on Raise Nation? I hate to put you on the spot, but what do you love to sing?
I like singing pop songs.
Pop, like which one?
Like, I sang Levitating with Sequig by Dua Lipa. I like singing Lady Gaga. I love singing Adele. And I try to branch out my taste in music. So I love soft rock 70s, 80s, 90s, Wow. I like Motown music. I like R&B.
You do it all.
A little bit of country. Yeah.
That's great. Well, if you feel like breaking out into song, we would be your audience. So anytime, just go ahead. We'd love to hear a little rendition. I don't want to put you on the spot, but wouldn't mind a little acapella if you feel like it. Go ahead. Sure. Why not?
Okay. I'm going to sing Rolling in the Deep.
Okay. Oh, by Adele. Okay. Got it. I'm all ears.
Yes.
Just a little bit. Just like sorry, I was just going to say just a couple of lyrics, just a couple of phrases. Okay, go ahead.
We could have had it all, rolling in the deep. You are my on inside, and you played it to the beat.
Woo! Nick,
Sierra.
What do you think? Sierra, that was fantastic.
Thank you.
Now I know why you're pursuing music. That is amazing. You have a beautiful voice. Thank you. Thank you for doing that impromptu acapella. And, to our Raise Nation audience, that was not a scripted, planned, or,
nope.
Yep, right? That was just off the cuff. So that's fantastic. Sarah, I have another question for you. So what is it, why is it important to be an advocate for the autism community and give a voice to those that don't have a voice? You do a lot of work in that arena, and I'd love to hear, and our audience would love to know why that is so important.
I think it's important because there are some things that we do that people don't understand, and I like explaining that kind of stuff and raising awareness of autism. So I would tell a lot of my friends that I have autism, and then I would explain it, and then they would know about it. And it makes me happy that people already know what autism is before I would tell them. That's because they understand me.
Well, that's a fundamental desire for all people, right? Whether you have autism or not, we all just want to be a little bit more understood. So it's beautiful that you're helping maybe those that don't have a voice be better understood. Nick, over to you. How have you helped bring that voice to the voiceless and to advocate and to help Sierra be a self-advocate and to reach the potential? What are some of the programming and models that you use at the Doug Flutie Jr Foundation?
Yes. Yeah. So, essentially our whole goal is to just provide a platform we do a lot of work. So from a programmatic standpoint, we do two things. We provide direct financial support to families who are in need of services that are related to autism, right? Because, if you have a child with autism, you certainly, there's a lot of studies that say, it adds $1.4 to, $3 million to over the course of a life to pay for extra services related to autism, right? And so we provide direct financial support to families in need of autism-related services. We provide grants to organizations who are doing the core work on the ground to make today better for people and families affected by autism. So that could be anything around education, job development, physical, social programs, that sort of stuff, safety initiatives, that sort of stuff. So those are kind of the two programmatic things we do. However, we have a lot of other programs, and really at our core, the way we work with Sierra and many other self-advocates like her is really just to provide her and her peers a platform to elevate their own voices. We try to step out of the way. I'm someone, I talk all the time or whatever, but I really try to step back, and my colleagues try to step back and really provide a platform. So like Sierra was saying, she goes out there, she sings her heart out, she kills. She has an incredible voice, incredibly talented. Her buddy C. Quig, same deal. We have people across the spectrum who have a variety of different talents, whether it's singers, artists, communications majors, people who are into sports broadcasting, whatever it is. We have a whole group of people who we just want to kind of step back, give them a platform so that they can elevate their voice. And in elevating their voice, they're doing two things. First of all, they're making a name for themselves, and they're making sort of a path for themselves.
A brand.
Yeah, a brand, build their own brand, right? And also, we understand too, and we work with plenty of families who have children with autism who are nonverbal, who have significant challenges. And so in a way, we look at somebody like Cierra, she's giving a voice to those who don't have a voice already, right? So Doug Flutie Jr., for example, wonderful young man, healthy, active, but he's nonverbal. He doesn't talk, he doesn't speak. So and really the foundation is his voice, right? Like that's the way that Doug and Lori, his parents, see it, is the work of the foundation is Dougie's voice. When Cierra goes out on stage, she's singing not only for herself and for her own family, but to show that there's so much that people with autism can do if you kind of open your mind, open your heart, and allow them to excel. And Cierra's like, amazingly talented, like autism or not, like it doesn't matter,
Correct. No, autism shouldn't matter. And without a voice doesn't mean they're not that community's not communicating. It's just a different way of communicating. So, I love lending a voice, to have a voice kind of concept. So I absolutely applaud what you're doing. Gosh, this is just fascinating, a conversation, and we have so much more to cover. I really want to get into what it's like to be an individual with autism and going to college and studying and all that good stuff. But we are going to be back right after this commercial message.
Raise is almost here. Reach new heights and inspire, connect, and grow with us at the Raise 2022 conference. Join us September 12th to 13th in Chicago or online. Register today.
Alrighty, welcome back. We are having a great conversation with Nick Savarese from the Doug Flutie Jr Foundation and Cierra Reynolds, who is the most magnificent singer, songwriter that I think I've ever heard. If you were listening before the commercial break, oh my God, she just killed it in a very impromptu a cappella version of Rolling in the Deep. But we want to continue the conversation. Let me turn to Cierra. Cierra, what is it like to be an individual with autism and going to college and taking classes with, all of your peers? And what's easy and what's maybe not so easy? Because I think if we understand better, we could help make those with autism have an easier time for education, which is, the root of the world. So tell us a little bit about that.
So I see like having autism and sorry. I see like having autism and being like talented with music. I see autism as a gift because I feel like it makes me like more talented in music than others. I feel like I don't know. But anyways, so going to college, having autism, sometimes it is hard making friends, but sometimes it is not. Like, I make great connections with my colleagues in college. I can say that now because college.
Got it. Smart.
But also, there are times when so there are times when it's hard living without my family for a while because I would get into thoughts. I would overthink a lot about some stuff and it would make me feel down a little bit. But I was pick myself back up again and do some work, call my parents, yo, what's up? And then I would get I would feel way better.
Well, I still call my mom and dad to feel way better about things too. So we're a lot alike, Cierra.
Yeah.
What's the one thing that you'd like the world to know about you, Cierra, being an individual with autism? What's the one thing that we could do better to be connected with you or that you want the world to know?
That's a hard one.
It is. Oh, sorry about that.
No, it's fine.
While you're thinking about that, Nick, what does the Doug Flutie Jr Foundation want the world to know and understand about individuals with autism?
Well, I would say, two things. One is, our vision is simply a world where people with autism, are included, engaged, and respected in their communities, right? Where they have a place to be equal to their peers who do not have autism, right? In terms of opportunities and level of respect and that sort of thing. So that's it, right? That's what we're fighting for. And in terms of, again, everybody has different skill sets, has different, talents or deficiencies or whatever, whether you have autism or you don't, or, you wear glasses, you have difficult time seeing things, we've all got our pros and cons, not to put it in those sorts of terms, because that's not how we look at things. But really just everyone deserves a chance. Everyone deserves an opportunity. And if you can give someone with autism an opportunity, like I encourage your listeners, Dawn, it's the fundraising community, right? So it's people who are out there fundraising, right? So they put on galas all the time, events. You know what you can do, listeners of this wonderful podcast? Bring Cierra to the next gala you're putting on or whatever.
Good idea.
Right. And so, and her friend C. Quig and our band Spectrum of Sound, whatever. Or, it doesn't have to be Cierra. I've thoroughly encouraged Cierra, but find ways in your work to involve the members of your community who might not be offered these opportunities. In our case, it's very simple. Like, we're an autism organization, so why would we not put people with autism front and center at our events or our gala or our initiative? But I encourage your audience to, of course, include the autism community in anything and everything you do, but really think about those members that you're serving within your mission and just deliver on a level of mission centricity that you haven't done yet. You step up your mission centricity game a little bit. That's what I would say to your audience. I'm sorry, that's a rambling answer. But
no, I loved it. There were a lot of good nuggets there. I would have, Cierra, are you up for that? If some people came knocking on your door and they wanted you to perform, are you up for that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me about
getting performance opportunities.
Okay. Well, let's hope that this podcast will bring them over to you.
Might I add one quick thing?
Go ahead, Nick. Of course.
Yeah. Also compensate people too. It's often like one thing that we make sure we do anytime we have anyone with autism, like give a performance or a speech or do anything, we make sure that we compensate them, because there's horrific unemployment and underemployment in the autism and disability world, and we want to make sure that people get rightly compensated for what it is they do. So I just wanted to throw that little bullet in there as well.
I'm astounded by some of the things that you're saying, Nick, and maybe we could explore that a little. I think you mentioned something about in the course of a lifetime, it's, in the millions of dollars, additional liability on a family to raise an individual with autism. So there's, strike one. Strike two is, as an adult with autism, there's such limited opportunities for compensation and income and work. So what's the answer? What do we do with that? That just seems horrifically unfair. So are there, what's the Doug Flutie Jr Foundation position there? And how can we right what's so wrong and make some societal changes?
That's a loaded question.
I know it is. I know. I want the magic answer.
I know. No, you're going deep. I love it. No, I mean, I think our position is, again, you hear nowadays, right? You hear about the the hiring pools out there. It's so hard to find good help. And then here we are sitting on 70 to 80% unemployment or underemployment for people with autism. So people in our field are like, let's put two and two together here, right? You have an untapped pool of resources, of human resources, people with disabilities, autism, looking for gainful employment. And then you have on the other side, employers, really struggling to find help. So I think the problem is, or the issue is people with autism and other disabilities oftentimes don't fit in that traditional box. They're not going to go through the traditional interview cycle and apply that way. So employers have to get a little more creative with how they're going to bring on and onboard and support employees with disabilities. But once they do, we hear time and time again that these employees have so much to offer. On the whole, statistically, people with disabilities and autism are much more loyal. They stay around a lot longer. But you have to adjust your practices around hiring, because sometimes they're not going to kind of fit in that traditional box. But we think that there's great opportunity, and on the floor, and now we're there's a whole generation of children with autism who are now becoming adults with autism and who already are adults with autism. So we really see a lot of opportunity, but we see a huge need too. So there has to be large philanthropic investment, government investment into hiring programs and that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's a tragedy, actually, to you don't know what's going on in the world of autism, what people are living and going through. It's not just the challenges of their different abilities. It's also the challenges of, work and finance. It's just too many challenges. I think we have to remove them, eradicate some of these issues to pave a way for an optimal lifestyle. So I applaud everything, that you're doing. I do want to turn back to Cierra, though. Tell me, Cierra, about some of your friends in the community and other self-advocates. You've really championed, Cierra, so many people with your beautiful singing and your voice. One in particular, Rachel Barcelona, is a friend of yours. Yeah. So tell me about all of the people like you that are screaming from the mountaintops and advocating for the autism community. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I know that Rachel is doing a lot of good stuff right now. She's making a nonprofit, I think. And she is an autistic model who can also sing. So I think that's really cool. We sang the Greatest Show duet in the holiday benefit concert. She's really cool. Me and my mom and her mom get along really well. And Sequig is a rapper. He's actually making his album and it's coming out like next month. It's called Young Dreamers, and I'm going to be in one of his songs.
Oh, what song? We have to listen for it. What's the name of the song?
Okay. It's called Tribal.
Tribal?
Yeah.
And do you do a duet?
Yeah, it's a duet.
And are you rapping or?
No.
You're not rapping. Okay.
I'm singing.
You're singing. Okay. So he's also, he or she, he's rapping and you're singing in this duet.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah. Rachel Barcelona, Sequig, and I, we like travel for like our careers. And I think that's really cool. Yeah. And everybody else, like, it's been really, really good. Like Cody Lee, like he also travels.
Do you like to travel?
Yeah.
I have to tell you a little secret, Cierra. I have to tell you a little secret. I like to travel, but I get a little motion sickness. It's not good. How about you?
I like traveling. I like seeing new places.
Oh, good for you. What place have you seen that you like the best, or so far is your favorite?
Ooh, Nashville.
Nashville. Is that because there's so much singing and songwriting taking place in Nashville? I had a funny feeling. So what's next for you, Cierra? What's right around the corner? What will you be doing next that we should look out for?
Well, I'm performing with the Flutie Foundation in a couple of weeks.
What are you doing? I'm sorry, I missed that.
I'm performing with the Flutie Jr Foundation in a couple of weeks.
Oh, where? Tell us. Do tell.
Yeah. So I'm going to Melbourne, Florida, and I'm going to be singing at a fashion show gala. And then like the weekend after that, I'm going all the way to Boston and I'm singing for the Can Do Fest.
Can Do Fest.
26.2 Can Do Fest. It's an event we have in partnership with the Boston Marathon, which is 26.2 miles. So it's called 26.2 Can Do Festival. So so Cierra will be up. Is Sequig coming to that, Cierra?
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, Doug Flutie's band will be playing. He plays in a band, the Flutie Brothers Band. It's where we actually, the Flutie Foundation celebrates both. We have a big team that raises funds through the Boston Marathon for the foundation, but also we are the sponsor of the Boston Marathon's adaptive program for runners. So we help them support runners who have disabilities, autism, other challenges to make sure that they have a chance, just like their peers who do not have disabilities, to run the best road race in the world, the Boston Marathon.
The best road race in the world. I love that. You got that in, Nick. And I love that, right? Because I think that every single experience that's out there needs to also be the experience for an individual with autism. And somehow, some way, we have to all work together to make that happen, whether it's a marathon or Disney or a concert or a movie or all the things that we enjoy in life, everyone should enjoy. So I love the fact that the Doug Flutie Jr Foundation is making that happen. So tell me a little bit more about that. You're actually sponsoring a number of participants so that they and the Boston Marathon is making provisions or accommodations, and together you're all working to make, and then Cierra's singing, and you're just all making it happen. Is that what's really going on here?
You really nailed the Flutie Foundation. We just like to bring all sorts of people, wonderful people and programs together and celebrate that. And yeah, that's so the Boston Marathon, they've always been a leader in sort of adaptive opportunities for runners, right? And so they obviously have a kind of a what they call the para division, which is, where wheelchair runners who have wheelchairs, duos, somebody pushing someone in a wheelchair. And they've really grown a third component of that, which is what they call their adaptive program for runners. And that's for runners, again, with autism, other intellectual disabilities, that sort of thing. And it's really, we work with them to help provide the infrastructure to support that whole program, right? So that these folks, again, have the same sort of opportunities that the rest of us
and everybody has. Sure.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's a great program. The Boston Athletic Association, who puts on the race, has always been at the forefront, and we saw that, and so now we're a partner on it. So this big event, 26.2 Can Do Fest, basically that's the message, right? 26.2, you can do. Anyone can do it. Now, that's not to say you can just jump. These athletes really give it their all, and they train just, and put a lot of effort into it. But they'll be rewarded a few days before the marathon by getting to hear Cierra sing and hear Doug Flutie's band and that sort of thing. So that's
okay. What are the dates again? I should know this. I'm sorry, I should know this. But let's just get that out there.
Cierra, do you know the date off the top? I think it's April 16th is the
April 9th. Yeah. And the 9th April 9th is in Melbourne.
Yep, you're doing it in Melbourne on April 9th. Yep, the 26.2 Can Do Fest is April 16th, and the Boston Marathon itself is Monday, April 18th.
Got it. Okay, I think I got all those dates ahead. If not, I can go listen to the recording over and over and over again.
We'll be live broadcasting the 26.2 Can Do Fest. You'll see Cierra.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what's up with the fashion show, Cierra. I'm sure there'll be some live. I'm sure there'll be some, whether it's live video or, shortly thereafter, release video.
Well, I might have my daughter actually lives in near the Boston area. Okay. I think I'm going to have to send her over to meet you and Cierra. She would love to meet you. I think we're fangirling now, right? Especially after hearing you sing. So if you don't mind, we might come and say hi and try to get an autograph. Or do you sign autographs, Cierra? Is that something that you're willing to do? Sign an autograph?
I don't have Sure. I don't.
We'll bring the paper and we'll bring the Sharpie, and you just sign away, and we'll treasure it forever. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Nick, I think we only have time for just another question, but I want to ask you the same thing that I asked Cierra. What's next for the Doug Flutie Jr Foundation? Where do you see yourself going in the next short order?
Yeah, sure. I appreciate the short order part, because it's really hard to think. Because we're so focused on today, and we're so focused on helping people with autism and helping their families today, that it is hard to think 2, 3, 4 months, 2, 3, 4 years down the road. And we've always prided ourselves on being really responsive in the moment for whatever the challenges that people with autism are facing. And especially after these last couple of years, it's been so hard to just, obviously the pandemic was not a great situation for many people, but like usual, people with autism were disproportionately affected in a number of ways. And so it's really hard to think long term. But what I can say is this: we have a great team of supporters. We have a great team of people, self-advocates like Cierra and all her peers, and a great board and staff. And we have our 25th anniversary next year. So
25. It's been, wow.
2023 will be the 25th year of the Flutie Foundation. So we're super pumped. just about, we've been growing by leaps and bounds, and we work with so many wonderful people and partners. So we got big things ahead there, but, stay tuned on that front. The big thing we're working towards after all the other stuff we talked about is our Rock and Race for Autism Gala that Cierra will be attending.
Yes.
And just so your audience knows, we put on tons of live streams, live events online. We have a LinkedIn series called The Workshop. We have a ton of stuff. So you can follow us and you can follow Cierra.
Hey, Nick, I have to ask you something. So next year you're celebrating 25 years. Is that what I heard?
Correct.
Okay, so I know this wonderful singer. Her name is Cierra Reynolds. So I'm thinking that you might want to have an event or maybe even a fundraising event. I can connect you because she's my friend. I can connect you to Cierra Reynolds if you'd like to have her sing at your event. I don't know if you'd be open to that, but hopefully you would be.
Cierra Reynolds would be like the top guest we would try to book for any event we're doing. So please, anything you can do to get us in touch with her, let's do.
Yeah, well, I'll have her people call your people, and we'll make a deal. How's that, Cierra? Can I be your manager?
That sounds good.
Well, I think that's all we have time for. I wish I could talk to you for ever and ever and ever, but we are hopefully making some headway with bringing communities together and celebrating neurodiversity. Nick, thank you so much for being with us and shedding a little bit light on the Doug Flutie Jr Foundation and everything you're doing. It was such a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, it was wonderful to be here. Thank you. And I do want to just give a quick, I'm sure you do this on the side or what have you, but I'd love for Cierra to be able to shout out where people could follow her online.
You're beating me to it. That's why I said thanks to you first. Now I'm going to turn to Cierra. And Cierra, what an honor. Really, I feel privileged to have you on the show. I feel like I have a new friend. And I'm so glad that my daughter, Alyssa Lego's in Boston, that she can come see you when you're in town. But I do want to first thank you, but can you tell people how we can get in touch with you? What's your brand and how do we follow you? Tell us all of that.
So I have an Instagram. It's called The Real Cierra June.
Wait, let's do that again. The Real Cierra June. Right?
Yeah.
On Instagram. Yeah. Okay.
And then my TikTok account, my singing TikTok account is Cierra June 20.
Cierra June 20. Is that your middle name, Cierra?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So let me do that one more time because sometimes my memory's not so good. So on Instagram, it's The Real Cierra June.
Yes.
Okay. And on TikTok, I love TikTok. On TikTok, it's Cierra June. Did I get that right?
Cierra June 20.
Oh, Cierra, I've got the 20. Okay, Cierra June 20. Yeah. Why the 20?
And that account is, because my birthday is October 20th.
Oh, we know when to say happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
Your 20th.
And that account is.
I'm a 20th. We have friends anyone I know who's a 20th. Ooh. We have a 20th club. So you want to be in the club, Cierra?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Nice.
Love it.
But yeah, that account is filled with all of my original songs on there.
You have original songs so you're deep into songwriting. You're not an aspiring songwriter. You already are a songwriter.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, anything else, Cierra, to close us out that you'd like to say to people who maybe don't understand about autism? Is there message that you might have?
Yes,
oh, good. We want to hear it. Okay. So
view like a disability as a strength or a gift. Because I see autism as a gift, so see it as a strength rather than like a disability.
I love that. That's really special. It's succinct, simple, and really the truth. So thank you for that message.
Strength and advantage.
A strength and advantage. Great outlook on life. Yeah. I'm so happy that you shared it with us. Well, Fearless Fundraisers, that's about all we have time for today. Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed today's Raise Nation topic and your daily dose of fundraising inspiration. Tune in for a new episode release every Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's Thursdays, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. But in the meantime, be sure to listen to all the episodes on Raise Nation Radio. Follow the channel that you like best, whether it's Spotify, Spotify or Apple Music, Google Podcasts, or even you can follow episodes on onecause.com. And this way you'll get all the notifications for new episodes, and you can log your favorites just like this one. And remember your friends Cierra Reynolds and Nick Savarese from the Flutie Jr Foundation. Fundraisers are doing amazing things to build better tomorrows for our communities. Stories are awe-inspiring, as you just heard. You won't want to miss a single episode. I would like to thank our sponsor, One Cause, for making this episode possible. One Cause is driving the future of fundraising with easy-to-use software solutions that help nonprofits connect with donors. Be sure to check them out at onecause.com and visit the resource tab on the homepage for a broad catalog of ebooks that you'll find helpful. A huge shout out once again to Nick Savarese from the Flutie Jr Foundation and the amazing singer-songwriter, Cierra Reynolds, who you already heard how you can get in touch with on Insta and TikTok. I truly appreciate you being here with us today and sharing your authentic voice. That is all for today. Thank you again, Nick.
Thank you so much, Dawn.
And thank you again, Cierra.
Thank you.
And to all of our fearless fundraisers out there, that is a wrap. Until next time, I'm Dawn Lego, and this is Raise Nation Radio. Stay fearless out there.